This is another story of God keeping God's promises, of God being faithful and true. The promises were coming that God had not forgotten God's people, that God would come through for them, that God would show up, that they would come home again. And in so many ways for us as a congregation on this journey, as we have moved from one building to another, as we have merged congregations and now ultimately have come to this place, it's been an interesting journey and memories of different spaces and different things. And there's been joys and sorrows, and there's been a lot of letting go and giving up and sacrificing, and a whole lot of trusting that God was really going to do something. We are a place full of people with lots of stories to tell. And some people in our congregation, they remember back 70 or 80 or even 90 years to where this congregation came from. Buildings that we no longer own, that are no longer used for worship. You know that God is alive in this place and working in you, and you see God working through this whole congregation, doing incredible things. And it's exciting and wonderful. And yet at all of it, there's so many unknowns, isn't there? So what is it all going to look like when it's done? And what's going to be different? And what will it be like when other people who aren't here yet are coming? And how's it going to work to have a community center and a church? And are we a church or are we a community center? How are we both? What does that mean? Along the way, many of us have said, and how's that going to happen exactly? And who's going to pay for that? And who's going to have the time and energy for it? And these things don't just magically happen, or, well, maybe they do. Maybe they do. Our story is a story of a faithful God who keeps his promises.